welcome to this special Saturday edition of LCJ Live, May 18, 2024. Going to give you the Friday box office results for these new movies and the other movies that are in theaters now. Some of my reviews of films, including If, Back to Black, I Saw the TV Glow, and more. We're going to preview Garfuriosa, the doubleheader. The next Barbenheimer is here. It's arriving this coming weekend for Memorial Day weekend. I think it's going to be huge. We'll talk about how those movies will do along with a film called Sight, which I've already seen, and more. As always, you can send in your questions or comments on this Saturday edition of LCJ Live. Garfield and Odie are here with me. Garfield's a little tired, but he's going to get ready for a big week ahead. We start with a different family film, though. That is If. Number one yesterday, $10.3 million. $1.8 million of that came from Thursday. That's when I saw it, and the rest yesterday. Here's the thing. I think it's a good number, and it's going to be an easy number one for If for Paramount, at least a $30 million weekend. The people who were predicting $40 million plus, I always thought that was a little high. Listen, there hasn't been a family movie, a huge family movie, in a couple months since Kung Fu Panda 4. And we've got Garfield on the way, and I think Garfield could have a gigantic $50-$60 million weekend. I'm still thinking that, especially with the extension, kids off of school for Memorial Day weekend. You're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think Garfield could do $60 million plus. But I always thought $40 million was a little high for If. It is an original concept, and people, some families who may be waiting for Garfield. But here's the thing about If, a film that I like, a film that I saw on Thursday. Kaylee Fleming, who stars as Bee, is very good. Ryan Reynolds, one of the better Ryan Reynolds performances in recent years because he is more restrained. He is very much in the story, though doesn't dominate the screen time maybe quite as much as you would expect. But I like that he's more restrained here. We get a little more depth as opposed to just the snarkiness that we see in Ryan Reynolds' performances over and over again. There's a little bit of that, but there's a little more here. There's a lot of cool animation, cool characters. The late Louis Gossett Jr. has a very nice supporting animated character, one of the imaginary friends. And I think grandparents will get the most out of If when it comes to any member of the family. It's really for them. There's a subplot involving a grandmother and the imaginary friend there and other situations. So if you go see If this weekend, I think the grandparents will feel the emotions of it the most. I spoke with a good friend of mine for 15 years, the stunt coordinator of If, Mark Pedagrasso. That LCJ Q&A podcast episode is coming soon to lcj.podbean.com and my social media platforms. One thing I will tell you now, here is what Mark said to me. We had a great conversation yesterday. He said to me, Ryan Reynolds, out of all the people, Mark has been in the stunt world for 15 plus years, has worked on some big movies and shows, big name stars, you name it, he's been a part of it, was also, had a role and was in the Oscar-winning Best Picture Coda. He's worked on Blue Bloods, he's worked on so many big films, stunt drove in the Ghostbusters movie that just came out, and also stunt coordinator on the upcoming Quiet Place Day 1. What Mark said to me about Ryan Reynolds is the only actor in all the years he's worked in stunt work that has every single day come up to him while they were filming the movie and said, "Thank you for keeping me safe. Thank you for protecting me." The only actor to do that every single day while filming the movie. What a nice guy Ryan Reynolds is. I have never met Ryan Reynolds. I saw him at the Critics' Choice Awards the year of Deadpool La La Land. I haven't had the chance to meet him, but that's really nice to know from a good friend of mine, Mark Pedagrasso, how nice of a guy Ryan Reynolds is. That full episode with Mark is coming soon to lcj.podbean.com. He's got some great stories. If you go see If, he gets into specific scenes. We talk about specific moments, how they pull off a lot of the stunt work. There's dancing, there's choreography, there's timing. There's a moment where Ryan falls into a pool backwards. He did that. There's a lot to talk about. So I look forward to sharing that interview with you soon. Also, by the way, coming Monday to animationscoop.com and lcj.podbean.com, new interview with the makers of the Garfield movie, director Mark Dindal and producer John Cohen. We talk about the Garfield movie, the marketing behind it, the story, working with comic strip icon Jim Davis, the casting of Chris Pratt, the casting of Samuel L. Jackson, and more. Mark Dindal did Chicken Little. We compare the Garfield movie to Chicken Little, so that will be coming Monday. Looking forward to sharing that with you as well. And Tuesday, new interview with the makers of Jurassic World Chaos Theory, new animated Jurassic World series coming to Netflix next Friday, May 24th. So look for that interview, Animation Scoop, and the LCJ Q&A on Tuesday. So if it's at 10.3 million, it'll get to 30. I think Paramount wants it at 30, and that would be good. That would be on par for Paramount this year when it comes to the 3-day opening weekends of their other two movies, Mean Girls and Bob Marley: One Love. So Paramount having a good year, no gigantic blockbuster, but Bob Marley made 96 million, Mean Girls I think 72. This will make a good amount of money if so. Paramount's having a good 2024 so far with A Quiet Place Day 1 opening at the end of June. In second yesterday, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which added 6.8 million. It's at 82 million bucks for 20th Century. If it does another 12 or so, that'll push it close to 100 million after 10 days, which is not bad. Number 3 is The Strangers Chapter 1, which started things off with about a 1.2 million Thursday, the rest of it yesterday for 5.1 million so far. That is better than Lionsgate, I think, expected, and a lot of people expected. This could push 10, 11, 12 million plus this weekend, which is another horror hit. We've had a lot of horror movies this year. Some have done better than others, and The Strangers Chapter 1 doing pretty good, and clearly audiences are ready for chapters 2 and 3, which could be out within the next year. I don't think the release dates are confirmed just yet, but clearly Lionsgate going to go forward with releasing 2 and 3 off of the instant success of Chapter 1. The Fall Guy added 2.3 million. It's at 56.8. So-so for Universal, not stellar. Also in the Universal family, of course, is Focus Features, which opened Back to Black yesterday. Did about 375,000 Thursday, close to 1 million yesterday. So it's at 1.3 million so far. About 3 million for the weekend. Not great. For a film that isn't great. I saw it yesterday, did a double feature with, I saw the TV Glow first, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then Back to Black. There's nothing in the movie that I think is offensive in terms of the filmmaking style and what's going on. It is a little more of a sympathetic kind of tribute-y treatment of Amy Winehouse's life and career than I was expecting. It is absolutely a softer film than the Amy documentary from 2015, which I loved. That was a powerhouse documentary. This is not a powerhouse movie. Marissa Abela is fine in the lead role. She keeps you invested in the movie enough. I don't love the supporting characters. Jack O'Connell's not a great role for him. Leslie Manville's in it. Kind of the arc of that character, the grandmother character, pretty straightforward. A lot of the movie is straightforward. A lot of the movie is a concert. There are full performances of tons of songs. And, you know, I enjoyed the experience of listening to the songs, but when the movie is not a concert movie, is that what I want out of a music biopic? No, I want a little more of how Amy Winehouse wrote the songs, created the music. There is not much of her going on tour. There is not much of her writing the songs, coming up with the songs. It's a little jagged in the way it's presented. It makes you have to assume that you know everything, even if you don't fully know the story. We hear about her having the success and the Grammy nominations and all of this, but we don't fully see it. It's more of the at-home personal relationship stuff. It's not a film that fully comes together well. Not terrible, not the worst music biopic I've ever seen, but there's nothing about it that I feel is extraordinary or excellent. Marissa Abela, again, is fine, but is it a standout breakthrough performance? I don't think it's to that level. The film isn't going to do much here in North America, but overseas it's done okay. $36 million so far, including $14 million in England. It was number 1 in England for 2 weeks and a very close second place for its third week, so doing well in the UK. No surprise, it makes sense now that Focus Features wanted to release it in England first, get some money overseas before releasing it here in North America. Challengers added 929,000. It's at 41.5 for Amazon MGM. I don't think it'll get to 50 million, probably 45, 46. Tarot added 565,000. It's at 14 million. Stranger's already going to do close to that this weekend. Godzilla X Kong added 390,000. It's at $193 million, right behind with 192. Kung Fu Panda 4, which added a couple 100,000, it's dropping off now. Everybody's going to If and then Garfield. Kung Fu Panda made all its money. Congratulations on all of that. It's now officially taken care of. No families are going to Kung Fu Panda at this point. Civil War added 272,000. It's at 66.5 for A24. Speaking of A24, I saw the TV Glow. I saw this yesterday. It made 422,000 with a decent $900 per screen average. It's at 902,000 so far with its total, and could do more than $1 million this weekend, which would be nice. I saw the TV Glow is a unique movie. It's got a good vision, and I think a lot of it works. Is it perfect? No, but I do think the first half hour is perfect. The first act, if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a point in the movie where we flash forward a bit, and from that point on, the movie's a little more hit and miss, though I like it a lot. I get the vision. I like the experimental nature of it. I like the meanings and what it has to say. To me, that first 30, 35 minutes is perfection. There are deep meanings behind friendships, television programs, what other people mean to each other, what TV programs mean to you, what it's like growing up, the atmosphere of going to school. Even though we don't get like classroom scenes, we don't need that. You see it just in two characters. And yes, it's the 90s. It's not the 2000s when I went through the education system early on and into the early 2010s. But you feel that. And I got a lot out of that first section, which is really strong. One of the best first half hours of a movie I've seen in 5 or 6 years. And what it takes when it comes to these two main characters and this television program they love, and how that program impacts their life is really interesting. If you watched this as a double feature with Late Night with the Devil, that is quite a double feature, because both movies take a unique perspective at television and a unique perspective at the power of it. And I commend the makers of the film, the cast, very strong. I saw the TV Glow. I did a list recently of my favorite A24 movies, which include Problemista, one of my favorite films of the year so far. I would add this to the list. It's got to be in the top 10 A24 movies I've ever seen. It's very good. I highly recommend. Go see I Saw the TV Glow. Watch Problemista as well. They're far better than Civil War. Civil War is a terrible movie for A24. But Problemista and I Saw the TV Glow are very good, and I'm glad that it looks like I Saw the TV Glow could get into the top 10 this weekend. So that would be great. We don't have the money yet for Unsung Hero. We don't have the money yet for Babes, which opened in select theaters, goes wide next weekend. That's Neon. And we don't have the money for the Amazon Blue Angels IMAX documentary. So that'll come out over the course of the weekend. We'll see how they do. But man, if I Saw the TV Glow can get in the top 10 and then A24 can continue to expand it, if the word of mouth is strong, which it should be, that's really, really nice. Tomorrow night is the season finale of The Simpsons. It is also the NBC airing of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And then they air Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom next Sunday, the 26th. The other night was the Young Sheldon series finale. I have not watched it yet. You know me, I love series finales. Haven't watched it yet, I will. But look at this. 9 million viewers watched the final episode of Young Sheldon, the biggest episode for the show in 4 years. What do I always say? Series finales are still event television. And proven once again with Young Sheldon. Golden Oreos. Hi, LCJ. What was the story behind your recent Pixar voice session? Well, thank you very much. That's gotten a lot of attention online. When I went to Pixar in March to do some interviews with the makers of Inside Out 2 and screen the first half hour of the movie, what we all got to do as reporters is go into the booth, and we got to do a scene, voice record a scene of Inside Out 2 as Joy, which is Amy Poehler's character. So that's a little bit of me in the booth. Other reporters have posted their videos online as well, and I had a blast. That was such a fun experience. They filmed us. We were able to start posting this video the other day, and it's gotten a lot of attention, which is great. I had a great time voicing Joy, being directed by the voice director at Pixar, and going through the different lines. There were other lines and other things, but I wanted to give you the highlights. And it was fun. It was really fun to do that. And man, this movie, I mean, I've seen the first 30 minutes of Inside Out 2, and it is that joy anxiety relationship, which you see in that scene, that is going to be very interesting the rest of the way through the movie, and see how the movie does based off of you have that strong lead character in joy and now this strong new character in anxiety. How's that all going to play out? That'll be interesting. So that was a lot of fun getting to do that. If people think I replaced Amy Poehler for the entire feature, I did not replace Amy Poehler for the entire Inside Out 2 movie, but I thank the folks at Pixar for allowing us to get to do that, allowing me to get to do that was awesome. Because I've wanted to voice role in an animated film and a short and a special for so long, or a series, and so I'm still hoping that that happens officially. Hashtag LCJ the voice. I want to be a voice in an animated series, special, short, or feature, big time. That was a cool experience, and I enjoy that experience, so I hope I get to do that officially. This was awesome to get to do that in Pixar. You get these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. You have to take them. You have to. And that was part of my experience going to Pixar to do that. So I appreciate you watching the video. If you haven't seen the video yet, when you're done watching this episode of LCJ Live, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and go to the homepage of the channel because the video is right there. Very quickly, Hitman, which is the new Richard Linklater film, opens in select theaters next Friday before going to Netflix on June 7th. Sight, which I have seen. Terry Chen, Greg Kinnear, good performances. Very good second half. The second half better than the first half. New drama, true story drama from Angel Studios coming to theaters next week. I think it'll do okay. It is worth seeing. It is worth your time. Obviously, Furiosa. They're going to be huge. Garfield's got to do 50, 60 million plus, and I think Furiosa can make a run at 50 million or more as well. It's going to be a gigantic 1-2 punch. The next Barbenheimer is here. It's Furiosa. Have a good time at the movies. Support your indoor theaters. Support your drive-in theaters as well. And for more, go to X. The Twitter is officially gone now. Ooh, it's just called X. At LCJ Reviews. Instagram at LightsCamJackson. The website's lights-camera-jackson.com. Don't forget, animationscoop.com and lcj.podbean.com with more. Going to be doing a Too Fast, Too Films episode soon. We're going to review If and Robot Dreams. That'll be up in a couple days at toofast2films.com, maybe a little sooner. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/lightscamerajackson. I think we'll be back Sunday, May 26th at noon with the normal day and time for LCJ Live. If there are any updates on that, I will let you know. It'll be exciting to see how Garfield and Furiosa do. And then we'll preview the movies coming out for May 31. Some smaller movies. Disney's got Young Woman in the Sea, but nobody really wanted to put out a gigantic movie for May 31, but we'll talk about all of that next time on LCJ Live. Thank you for watching this special Saturday edition of the show. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.